Hello guys, I am Mulo and I'm the host of the Beatz Buzz, currently hosted by Big Little at Bush Radio, and I'm here with two very special people, Adrian Lowe and Kelly McLaren. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves now.
Hi, my name's Adrian Lowe. I'm the program integrator at Bush Radio.
And my name is Kelly McLaren, and I'm one of the founding members of BIGLittle Music SA.
So the initiative for this show is to basically highlight issues around artists and their problems in music, also highlighting issues around publishing and the protection of intellectual properties for artists, and more so education on that, and also growing infrastructure for local artists within the community who need help boosting their careers and their creativity. So I'm going to allow them, Adrian and Kelly, to explain the relationship between BIGLittle and Bush Radio.
Well, I think it's still a growing relationship. I think the more that BIGLittle works alongside and with Bush Radio, the more we discover just how much we share a common vision and common goals, affecting change in the music community and the music industry, and like you say, all of the areas that really do need attention. I met Adrian a few years ago, completely outside of the context of this, and through chatting with him, at the time, BIGLittle was doing its first Streetopia event, and chatting with Adrian about it, he was like, wow, well, Bush wants to put live music on the radio, and Bush is largely centered around South African music, so let's chat more about it and see where it goes, but life is busy and things take time. Mm-hmm. So BIGLittle kind of hopped along in its small little infant format until it felt it was confident enough to really approach Bush and say, okay, well, let's see what we can do and how we can do it. And at the beginning of this year, we sat down with Adrian representing Bush and unpacked a couple of ideas, big ones and small ones. So what we're busy with now with these live sessions on Bush Radio and with Bush Radio, it's really the first date of what we hope will be many, many more. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of shared vision.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so for us, it's about getting exposure to artists, getting live music on air, supporting our artists, and we always have one of the philosophies at Bush Radio is that the right people come along at the right time. Mm-hmm. And even though we've been doing little sparks of live performances, Mark Victor Mull and live Mondays and things like that, we wanted something that's a little bit deeper. That gives a little bit more. And, we found a collective of people sort of led by Kelly to help initiate something. Because for us, it's not just about FM radio. Traditional radio is dead. People still tune into the radio, though, to find new voices, new music. And that's the power of radio. If you want to find something new, you tune into FM radio generally. And that's the power of radio. And Bush Radio has a history of exposing new artists, giving them a platform. Mm-hmm. And this is part of our dream to share that even further. Mm-hmm. Embracing new technologies and getting a clear and powerful message out.
No, I understand. And where do you hope to get your reach? How far do you want it to get, since you are combining two different formats, from broadcast to live music and streaming? Where do you hope to get this in terms of that combination?
I think a lot of radio people are scared of embracing new media. Mm-hmm. We've always said that radio is the medium we currently use. Mm-hmm. It's one of the mediums we use. So we do online streaming. You can stream us, you can get recordings, you can listen to us on traditional FM. But I think what Bush Radio represents, and I was actually looking at the Google stats this morning, because somebody kindly donated access to our Google stats. Mm-hmm. And you see a large group of people listening to us online from South Africa, so about 50%. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it is actually global. I was asking Brenda, who's our MD, who do we know in Guernsey Island, in because they seem to religiously listen to Bush Radio. Yeah. And I looked at the map and I was like, wow, this is really global. Mm-hmm. So people want to get a sense, and they're not tuning into us because we have the best presenters or we play the coolest music. They want to really get a sense of what's happening in Cape Town. They want the real Cape Town. They want to know what's really happening to people, and I think Bush doesn't gloss over those things. We're not negative about things, but we highlight positives and negatives. And there's obviously an interest in that. I mean, when you have somebody tuning in from Finland, New Zealand, Guadeloupe. I mean, I was saying one of our interns was from Martinique, and suddenly we've got this nice spike from Martinique. It means we are connected. And I think when I go back to the saying of, you find the right people at the right time, and the time is now. So now's the time to have these sessions, find out what people think about it. Is it something, there's a lot of programmers are very staid in there, play the best song, play the top song, the next top song, a song that somebody might like, and maybe once a week you can squeeze in something odd. No, at Bush you can listen to Mongolian death metal through to, through to some. I was explaining to Kelly about how one of the initiators of Bush Radio, when I was an intern, made me record 24 hours worth of traffic sounds. Because one day we decided to only play traffic sounds, or actually only anything generated live. And if we had a filler, we'd play car noises, just to see what's possible. So for us, this provides a platform for artists to be as creative as possible, and a great community of people that have come together, yourself included, to help with that, to help get artist message across. It's not only fun, it's stressful, but it's exciting. It's exciting to embrace people, because people want to tune in. And when I say tune in, it's not the traditional radio dial. They want to tune in because they know what they're going to get on Bush Radio is real. They know they're going to get it truthfully. But they want to be able to choose in what format they get it. So whether it's through video, whether it's through traditional radio, I don't know what comes next after, beaming signals telepathically through, into people's brains. I think that's important.
No, I understand. And talking about the interconnected nature of all our struggles, right? One thing that Kelly talked about is providing an infrastructure for artists who want to grow themselves and basically building a community of people who can help others. And I wanted to talk about how important is that community aspect to you as it relates to your relationship to both Bush and as an artist yourself outside of music.
Yeah, so I definitely think that one of the things that I take from Bush Radio is community. Because without community, it is impossible to successfully implement change or push back. So there are a lot of problems in the South African music industry. We're not going to unpack all of those now because, that's many, many episodes it's going to take. But step one is get everybody under the same roof and on the same page so we can unpack the stories and start to learn that these are not unique problems we're having as individuals. These are industry problems that we're feeling as a music community. So power in community and strength in numbers for sure. And I still see the oldest trick in the book is divide and conquer, and we still fall for it, So Big Little's hoping to create an umbrella that we can start to build a sustainable community underneath, using Bush Radio's example of what is community as an example.
No, I understand. And using Bush Radio again as an example, one thing you said in your statement is you guys amplify the voices of the community. What stories do you believe need to be told and need to be heard in order to provide that growth in numbers? What do you think can be the unifying factor that we all relate to in order to push back against systems and structures that kind of keep everyone bound?
So
for both of you.
I'm not able to unpack all of them because I'm sure there are still more individual experiences that will shed light on the problem as a whole. But I definitely think that it has to start somewhere, and getting rid of the divide is the first step. You know, so the problem with the music industry in this country is not lack of talent.
Definitely.
That we can start there. We can unpack it there. Let's showcase our talent and ask the questions of why. Why is it that so many people in the public are unaware of the amazing talent 2 doors down, you know? Whose responsibility is it to change that? Who's best suited to change that? Who's willing to do the work to change that? You know? So, yeah.
And even in Cape Town, why are there so many gatekeepers for content?
Yeah.
You know, why does it have to? There was a commercial radio, and look, it's about money. There's a lot about money. I remember a presenter of a very well-known Cape Town radio station when I was a trainee, going there and being told, "We'll never play hip hop," because and they could never play hip hop because hip hop didn't sell within their community. Now that same station actually has had one of the top DJs, hip hop DJs, hosting a show.
Wow.
Because it's about market value. Suddenly hip hop's become sellable. You know, there's that old trend of, you know, it's underground, then it becomes popular,
Then mainstream.
and once you can sell it, you know, and then you kill it. That's a cycle, and that's a cycle we need to break. And I think for us, because we play so many genres, and what also intrigued us about what Big Little was doing with the Streetopia events and other events, was bringing together so many different artists. You know, people feed off each other and learn from each other, whether it's by osmosis, whether it's just by hanging out, and it changes how you think. And that's essentially why community is so important. You know, whether we have a rock band or Kwaito band, what could come out of that? Of just sharing experiences. For us, you know, the philosophical part of it is the humanity of that. If we can have a space where people can connect, share their stories, they can normally find a solution to their challenges. They just need to be. And that's all we're doing as Bush Radio. Whether it be through interviews on normal programmed radio, or working with Big Little. It's facilitating those sort of spaces where people can connect.
No, understand. And sorry.
So I have sort of like a sideline fascination with Cuba. We won't unpack all of that now, but primarily because they live in community because they have to. And there's a word for it. I can't recall it now off the top of my head. But basically the way they work is they will, in a street, one house has a fridge, one house has a washing machine, one house has a sewing machine. And everybody, you can openly go to the houses and use the different things. So when I look around here and how we've gotten as far as we've come with Big Little Music, it's built in exactly the same way. And that is the power of community. So what seems impossible on your own, with a community, becomes possible, you know?
No.
Yeah.
I understand completely. And just to feed off of that, one of the stories I like to tell personally is when I was meeting Kelly at the first time at the jam session, this was in a process of where I was educating not only myself, but other people around the protection of the intellectual property and what it means to register your stuff as an artist. And I wanted to ask you guys, how important is education in the community outside of the humanity aspect? Because at the end of the day, we are in a capitalistic society. People above us do benefit from our ignorance. So I wanted to, and also you guys said you're teachers in your statement. So how important is that educational aspect for you within the community?
Well, I think everything Bush Radio does is guided by education. You know, our youngest broadcaster is 6 years old. They spend Saturdays here learning radio. You know.
Yeah.
And it's not because we want them to be great DJs, but when they mature, they understand media, they understand how they can use it. They could become a doctor. How can I use radio to help heal people or give them access. What I like about what I've been seeing and the development is also the old, 80s struggle philosophy of each one teach one. And it's being repackaged for a new generation. People sometimes are very negative. Oh, this and that. I just look at the people spending their weekends, their time here. It's one of the few occasions I've sort of sat back and simply smiled, like, because people would know me that I stress all the time. This has been the most relaxed I've been, because Cully's been stressing, and Renato from Bush Leo have been stressing, and all I do is like smile, and nag Renato or nag Cully about this must be done. Where's the Bush logo? Where's this? What's happening? So it's a learning experience, even for me, to be able to step back and not want to go, I can fix this, because that's my personality. I can fix this. I can do this. I can organize that. Sometimes you have to learn to step away. And some people have learned to rise up to the challenge, whether they're going to try their hands at hosting. We have a lot of young people. We've approached several people upstairs. They're all like, no, there's a camera. They're nervous. I'm like, oh, wow. People don't know what they're capable of sometimes and the heights they can reach. And above all of that, I mean, technical skills is technical skills. You learn that. It's the confidence to articulate your message. It's the ability to research your message that people need to be taught. The hard skills, hey, we can learn that. With AI, we can use AI even. But giving people access and the confidence to share their messages is what's most important. A job of an educator or teacher is not to pull you along. It's to walk beside you and say, this is possible. And I will give you the skill, whether it be hard skill, whether it be education, whether it be whatever, to help guide you out. And I think the critical thing for us when choosing a partner like BIGLittle is that we want somebody to walk beside us. There's a lot of people out there that will lead us out of deepest, darkest Africa. No, we choose. Bush Radio has always been known to choose partners that walk beside us. We know radio. We don't really know TV. We've experimented. We've played. We've done some live stuff. We know it's important. We know. Bush has been quite a good trend spotter. If Bush Radio had a job, it would be a trend spotter, whether it be, looking at artists that might go further or broadcasters. And you see that with the people in industry, musicians that have come through, have volunteered at Bush Radio, have been part of Bush Radio. This is an extension of that. This is taking it to the next level. But we're not the experts, so we bring in people. People that can do things, that are willing to show us this is what's possible as well. In that way, our community is enriched.
I understand the highlight of growth. And unfortunately, we are reaching time, guys, but I do want to thank Kelly and Adrian for this very fruitful discussion. And over the next several weeks, we're going to be unpacking more topics around news, industry struggles, and also education around your intellectual property. So please come, because it is very important and you guys are going to love it. So thank you guys again. That was an amazing discussion.
Thank you, Adrian.